Hey everybody, it is day 25 of 31 and 31, and today I'm watching Head Count. Um, this is a weird one. I really don't know what to think of it. I will say I liked it. I did like it. It's a little slow to start, and it really kind of ramps up at the end. And what is Head Count about? Finally, I'm not fucking fooled in one of these fucking videos. This is a creature feature, but it's not really focused on the creature. It is and it isn't at the same time. And I think that's what some of the charm of this movie is the fact that you have this creature that's always present but never really there. And it kind of steeps into like Wendigo territory. In some of the films that we thought, with some of the psychological horror that goes on within these films, it does remind me of The Retreat quite a bit, but it also very much, and I have to say, I think this is very influenced by The Thing. So the basic story of this movie is that this brother goes out to meet with his older brother, and he ends up running into this group of people as they're going through the Arizona desert, and they're hiking along and doing all that stuff. And there's a girl that sees him that likes him, and the group invites him over, and he ends up going and hang out with them instead of hanging out with his brother for the time frame that he was supposed to be hanging out with everybody. And then when they're telling ghost stories over a campfire, he looks and he finds this like creepy pasta, and he reads this thing that we see at the beginning of the movie, and it inadvertently summons what the movie calls the Hisiji, and it is a doppelganger, is what it is. So a lot of this movie is trying to guess what's going on, who the real person is, and there's a lot of really cool like fake out type things that they do, and you never see the creature till the end, which I think is a very good call for this type of movie. Whereas something like The Thing has given you glimpses of the creature and does all these really cool creature effects, this you kind of kept wondering if this is actually real. And because they're all like stoners and they're partying and doing all that stuff on their little vacation, they never really kind of know if it's really real or if this is something that's part of this like drug induced hallucination. It has some really strong, interesting scenes. The best scene in this movie happens to deal while they're playing King's Cup, and there's a really shocking moment that happens in that, and it really does catch you off guard. And that's honestly where I feel the film starts to actually pick up the pace. And unfortunately, that's in the last like maybe 40 minutes of the movie. So there's a lot of character building in the beginning of the movie, and that might turn some people off, but I still think that ultimately it's enjoyable. And the ending's a little weird too. And just because it seems like it's abrupt, but I don't know. And there could be a lot of questions asked. And it's a little obvious what's kind of going on. And I really don't want to talk about it because, that's going to ruin the whole experience for you. And maybe it could have done some things a little different with the ending, but I still think that it works out in the end. I really like the actors in this movie. The person that plays Zoe she's really great. The main character Evan, I think that actor is really great. Very strong performances in the movie. The story stumbles a little bit, and this is the director's. It's her first film. This is a first time director, and I think she really kind of hits it out of the park. I saw a review on IMDb, and you can go ahead and find it yourself too, where it was like, oh, we have to be like PC nowadays and do all this affirmative action and have these women, direct movies nowadays. And women directors are really no good, especially the new ones. And this is an exception to that rule. And I find that fucking bullshit because anybody can do fucking anything. And she does a fantastic job. And there's a lot of great female directors, that are out there. And the person even states that, some first time male directors also don't do very well. So I'm not trying to be that way. Yeah, you fucking are. Okay. Quit with that bullshit. This on its own, whether it's a male or female director, it's a very good movie. It doesn't reach that pantheon for me of even getting a very high score. It's not a 5 out of 5, and it doesn't quite reach that 4 out of 5 mark. And I think it's just because of the pacing in the beginning. If that pacing was better, then you'd have, I think, a really well put together film, because the scares in this movie, they're psychological scares, and you have the jump scares and loud noises, but they're used really well. And there's a lot of really great tension as we get towards the end of the film, but I do feel that the last little bit is rushed. And it's so much once they, the characters actually figure out what has been going on. But there's a lot of really good little nuggets here and there, which I really want to see the next film that this director does. That's actually how much I like this film, even though I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 lighters. It's like just it's a good film. It's just missing that one little thing that's going to make it a great or excellent film. And you may have heard the cat stealing some plastic as she takes it to the kitchen and starts chewing on it. Which one is it? You never know. But she's chewing it over there. It's on Amazon Prime right now. I think it's definitely worth a watch. It's within the last 2 years. Came out in 2019. And it's definitely something that I don't think it's going to be for everybody, but I like these types of films. And like I said, as I got into the middle of the second act to the third act, it really grabbed me at that point, and I really enjoyed how everything turned out. And it also has my favorite type of ending when it comes to a lot of these types of horror films, and is reminiscent of other things that I've talked about before. I don't want to give that away, but that could be a big hint if you know what I'm talking about. So, all right. Well, we'll see you next time on one of these 31 and 31s. Wondering what we're going to watch tomorrow. Hopefully, like this one, there's an actual creature in it. All right. Take care.